guys, I'm rolling with Diaz. Now, Chael, how do you say that? Chael, you're a homer. You told us that you got a relationship with Nate, and that's purely what you're speaking to. Hey, you may not be wrong, guys. I'm a human being. I will share this with you. I will not pick Nate because I got a relationship with him. I just won't, and I never have. I mean, I see guys do that. I begrudge those guys. I come in and take all their jobs away. They can't figure out how come Chael keeps on getting this position. I don't say that to shine my own wheels, but there's certain reasons that Chael gets the position. One of them is Chael has balls, and he's not scared to make a pick. As simple as that might sound. Think about it. Put yourself in that spot. Two guys that, your dad and your uncle, but you're the one that has to come out and say who would win if they went into combat, right? You don't want to do that. What an awkward spot. I got to roll with my dad. Same time, my uncle's a couple of years younger and a few pounds bigger. I mean, it ends up in one of those spots. Say it or don't answer the question. I really feel that way. And we've even got people that will give predictions, but they'll tell you that. They'll go, hey, listen, just so you know when I do a prediction. And these are professionals. These are people in the position that you would like to be in. I mean, right? That's a very sought after spot to get to be there live, get to participate in the action. They'll tell you straight up, hey, just so you know, whenever I make a prediction, it is a popularity contest. It is whatever one I'm closer with. I will never pick against a friend. They'll tell you that. Now, I actually appreciate that disclosure. But the other guys that do it don't actually give you the disclosure. They just go and do it. And that's lazy, and I don't like it. And I'm taking Diaz. How? If I'm going to take Diaz, who's a 12-1 dog, over the undefeated Khamzat Chimaev, then how's he going to win? Real simple. How's he go? I just think he's going to win. Now, how is he going to win? This isn't water cooler talk. We're not buddies out on the playground. I'm a professional, right? I mean, I'm coming you from a professional position. He's going to stop him. Nate's going to stop him. In this order of most likely, he's going to cut him with an elbow, specifically. He's going to slice his forehead and get the fight stopped. In descending order, he's going to submit him. Okay. How are we getting to that conclusion? Look, the only thing, if Nate ever listened to me, Nate likes me, but Nate doesn't want me being his coach. He doesn't respect me in that regard. But if I were, and if I had the power, or if I could talk to Coach Richard Perez and just plant a little seed to go back to Nate, appreciate what position you're in, and he does not. It is the only knock on Nate Diaz. He does not agree with the judges in the history of this sport that if you're on the ground, whoever's on top is being favored. He just doesn't agree with that. That is not how he came up. He did not come up as an MMA fighter. He did not come up as an MMA judge. He did not come up as an MMA observer. He did not come up as a wrestler. He came up through jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu started everything. Before he ever threw his first punch, he was doing jiu-jitsu. If ever he learned a takedown or learned to stop a takedown years before that, he was doing jiu-jitsu. He was doing it off of his back. He was watching the greats who he admired, like Royce Gracie. And there's things that you do, and there's positions, and there's traps that you lay, but you do it all from your back. In came something known as a round. That did not used to exist in this sport. There did not used to be a round. There was no 10-9 must system, but more importantly, whatever position you were in, every 5 minutes, they did not stop you and bring you back to your feet. But this is the time when Nate started to watch and get influenced. And I share this with you because you can start to kind of understand the psychology. It's not just a stubbornness. It's not just a refusal. He believes this in his heart. Hey, there's a number of guys. Chuck Liddell used to pull his hair out. I mean, it would just drive Chuck insane. That if I punch you in the face, that's one strike by me. And you kick me in the leg. Now, you kick me twice as hard. I don't hurt your face in the least, but I touched it. You're numbed my leg. Oh, my God. What do you guys call that? Like a Charlie horse? It's starting to hurt. It's starting to bruise. There's starting to be a hematoma form. I did a strike. You did a strike. I hit your face. You kicked my leg. I, for sure, 100% of the time, won. 100% 100% of the time, I won. And this was Chuck's point. Chuck's going, man, they don't value these leg kicks. These judges haven't been kicked. They're experts in the sport. They're very good at what they do, but they haven't actually been in the gym. They don't know how bad those leg kicks hurt. Chuck makes a very good point. And so do I. I'm right about that. I punch you in the face, you kick me in the leg. We both just did one strike. It does not matter the damage that you did versus the damage I did not do. If it's 1-1, but I hit you in the face, I win. And I tell you what, even being armed with that and even having been kicked in the leg, if I'm a judge and I was confronted with that actual thing, I will give a 10 to the person that hit the other one in the face. I will give a 9 to the leg kick. It's not the same perception. Go back and forth for whatever reason, but that is an accurate statement. It's not the same perception. I just want to speak to you about this because Nate is going to give up position without a huge struggle. Chimaev gets in deep. Chimaev sets it up right. Chimaev goes to take this thing to the ground. Nate is going to go there with him without a huge struggle in his mind, thinking that he has improved his own position. And I'm sharing with you where that comes from. For many years of his life and in many years of his experience, that was true. And you guys know this, and maybe it's not fight related, but you know things that you believed or you were told as a child, and you believe them to this day. You tell them to your children. You have no proof. You've never seen evidence, but you have a faith. And people love to use the word faith, right? It's a very powerful word. But have you ever looked up what it meant? I mean, do you know what faith means? Faith is the belief without proof. You share that. And even if it's not MMA, you're not going to get that through Nate's head. If Nate watched this video, it's not going to work. Okay, but I'm taking that into consideration when I'm picking Nate. I'm taking that into consideration because when Nate gets you on the ground, there's only a few guys that will do this. Tony Ferguson goes into this category. Nate Diaz goes to this category. Chalmers Oliveira, to a degree, goes in this category, which they'll strike from their back. They're not just looking for triangles and guillotines and Kimuras. They're not. They're also looking to trap you, freeze you, and to work. Uriah Hall stopped on The Ultimate Fighter. He stopped his opponent without a submission, and he did it while in guard. This was in 2013. Now, I'll give you a quote that Dana White said. It might not hold up today. But in 2013, Dana White said, now I want you to picture that, guys. Uriah Hall is in guard. He's on his back. He does not use a submission. He stops his opponent. So he stopped him with strikes from the bottom. And Dana White very calmly just said, I've never seen that before. And when Dana said that, I started to think, well, I'll give you an example where it happened. I hadn't seen it either. 2013, I don't know that it's ever happened. Uriah Hall did it. And it's a real concept. If you can get those working together, it's the same thing that every wrestler that gets an idea, it's the same thing Bo Nickel is working on right now. I want to get to my wrestling, but I got to strike my way in. Okay, great. You're just talking about combining things. You're talking about flowing and combining things. But very few high-level grapplers do that from the bottom position. They go into full grapple mode. I think from the bottom, a position that Nate could resist. I don't think he will. I think he will go down thinking he has improved, falsely thinking he has improved his own position. But then he's going to go to work, and I think that Nate's going to cut him. One thing that Chimaev does is aggression. People tell us that Chimaev was this masterful wrestler. I know about his championships. I know what he did within the junior division. I know what he did within Russia, and I know what he did when he switched over to Sweden. But if you watched all of Chimaev's fights, you're not going to come to the conclusion of just this is a great wrestler. You're just not. He's very masterful with ground control. Even if you watch some of the Smash Bros stuff that he puts out on YouTube, his submissions are wonderful. Now, he's only got a purple belt. But he still understands these things. And the same thing goes on his feet. He's going to throw kicks. He's going to throw elbows. He's going to throw knees. He's going to throw punches. But one thing, when you fight with reckless abandon, you're going to make a whole bunch of fans. And God darn it, you're going to be fun to watch. you're also going to be vulnerable. You're going to be open. When you're attacking, particularly nonstop, and when you were just right, guys, every time my hand leaves, I just gave you an opening. Every time I go to, I use my hands to protect myself. So if I use that hand for something else, there's an opening. Even if it's a split second, boom, and I bring it right back. There's still that moment, and Chimaev provides those. There's not many, but he does provide them. If you go back to the Gilbert Burns fight, you saw that not only get tested, but get proven. When Gilbert landed those strikes, that was not a product of Gilbert laying a trap or using what more commonly you'll understand as a setup. It was not. It was Gilbert Burns swinging back while he was being attacked, but things got through and they damaged him. And I'll tell you another spot in that Gilbert Burns fight. Nobody ever likes to talk about this for whatever reason, but Gilbert Burns almost had an armbar. And it was less than a second. But it was an extremely basic armbar from a guy who was bludgeoned, bloody, sweaty, and tired. And he still almost had that armbar. And for that brief second, when Gilbert went to it, brief second, it was a hesitation. You must really understand the sport to have caught this. Chimaev didn't know what to do. 10th of a second, but it happened. You witnessed it. Chimaev, as basic as that armbar, Chimaev, just for a second, didn't know what to do, and then he got his arm out. Now, I'm using that because I must have some level of history to support a thesis that's telling you I'm predicting a 12-1 dog. I know you guys don't expect much from me when it comes to predictions. I understand. I ain't got a real good track record over here. I do have that, but I still do it in honesty. I don't do it on favoritism. Personal relationship, bedamned. I don't wish Chimaev bad. I think that Chimaev, with his reckless abandon, I think the fact of energy management, 5 rounds a different deal, guys. You're having a whole different sport. There's no sport in the world that because you're the last one of the night or you're for a title, there's no sport in the world that changes its parameters except ours. 11 matches and 22 men are going to go out and do the exact same thing in the exact same arena, in the exact same cage, under the exact same jurisdiction of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. But one match, 2 athletes are going to have to do it for 2 rounds more. It's just one of those things. The Super Bowl doesn't work that way. You don't get to the final game and all of a sudden it's 5 quarters. It just doesn't work that way. The 100-yard dash, when it's for the gold medal, doesn't become 101 yards. There's just nothing that works this way but our sport. So when I go as far as to tell you this is a different thing, it's a different sport, I'm standing by that. You think that Chimaev is completely undefeated, you think that he's an unblemished fighter, and I'm telling you, you've never seen him do this. Oh, Chael, that's silly. It's not. 5-round club is rare, guys. Very. Go back and see how many men are in the 5-round club. It's very rare that you ever get booked for it, right? You got to have a level of success to make it to the top of the bill and or a title fight. Great. Go back even further and see how many guys actually did it. Not just that we're booked for it. See how many guys actually are in the club, and Chimaev's not. I'll change on Saturday. But I am going to tell you one thing. As much as you think you know about Chimaev, and as much as you think you've seen him do this, he has not done what he's going to do Saturday. It is a different animal. It is a different management. It is a different strategy. People who think Chimaev's better, he's younger, he's going to kick Nate Diaz's ass. You are correct. He is all of those things. He's going to kick Nate's ass. That's not what this is about. It's about who beats the other one. More than one way to skin a cat. They're going to go to the ground. Nate is going to freeze a position somewhere, likely with a triangle. Likely he's going to block a head and an arm. While Khamzat is thinking of the defense, the step over the posture, while he's thinking about that, boom, those elbows are going to come. Big prediction by me. Wild guess. The same one that told you Juliana Pena was going to win a world championship. I went a little bit further and I told you she was going to stop her in the 2nd round. Just a guess. Just making my prediction. But I do want to share with you guys what I'm basing that on. I want to make it a hypothesis, which makes it an educated guess, and that is my story.